Welcome to Yuri Experience, and today I want to talk with you about the fact that difficult doesn't mean interesting. There are a lot of things in our lives that are kinda complicated. For example, calculate your own taxes. I have no idea how it works, and I think it is a pity that we don't learn stuff like that at school. Or taking care of kids, or taking care of elders. It's also not an easy concept. It is a difficult task that not anybody can do just like that. Just so easy. Yeah, I'm doing it. And it makes perfect sense that for some people, complex, difficult things or difficult tasks are really interesting. But for other people, they're completely boring or something that they think of as not needed or not useful for their life. Still, there is one assumption that is going around kinda that I want to discuss today, that is kinda the topic of today's video, that difficult things are also interesting, that difficult things have to be interesting. And I don't completely disagree with this idea, but I also don't completely agree with this idea. Let's talk about context. First, why can I understand that difficult things or complex things can be interesting? It is like having a lot of layers to the thing. When you're reading a really nice book, normally this book has a lot of layers of understanding, a lot of layers of knowledge or experience that you gather out of it. And same with difficult or complex tasks. In order to do this task, you need to do another task prior to it. In order to do the task prior to it, you need to do the third task and stuff like that. Or you need to go to some specific people and do some quests, kind of RPG style. So yes, I completely understand why this assumption exists. It is something that I personally get a lot to hear on my job. So we get some new project and our project manager says something like, this project will be so complex, so big, you can look on it from different perspectives, it will be so cool, it will be so interesting. But will it actually be? My first problem with the thing, only because a task or a quest or an idea or whatever is complicated or complex or difficult, it doesn't mean that parts of it are not easy. Sometimes what is difficult with it is maybe it needs a lot of time, or maybe it needs a lot of endurance in terms of you need to sit down and do a lot of really stupid type of a job. Like, I don't mean that people are stupid who are doing these jobs, but you don't really need to know a lot of knowledge or have a lot of experience in order to do their job. You just sit down and do that for like 10 hours straight and you are done. Yes, it is a difficult job. Yes, it is a complicated in some way job. But would you say that it is interesting? I personally not. And the second reason is the fact that only because a job is complicated or a task is complicated, it doesn't mean that the field of knowledge, the field of life which is connected with this task is also interesting. Like, for example, you can work on some field. For example, you are making a chair and you want to create best chairs in the world. How much are you interested in marketing? Probably not. If you are a person who are doing chairs, you are mostly interested in chairs, and marketing is doing some other person who is interested in marketing. That's how it works in ideal world. It doesn't work like that in the real world, but in utopia, yeah. And that is kinda a strange example, but I hope you understand what I mean. Only because a job is complicated, it may be just complicated because you don't know a lot about the field that you will work in, and maybe you don't want to know more about that field. And then the job becomes not interesting, in my personal opinion. However, a job that is complicated and is complicated just because it is complicated, is difficult, the work that you need to input in it is difficult and you need to work strategically on different points in order to get a difficult task done, that kind of a job can be interesting, can be made sometimes interesting. if people work or think accordingly, if project managers or planners or whoever it is plan accordingly, if they work with people accordingly. In my personal experience and based on my knowledge and based on a lot of different things that I know about people and me and my observation overall, people like to learn new things. They not always like to learn things from different fields of view, different fields of life, but people like to get new knowledge. And that is kind of logical, because when we learn new information, we get this like small dopamine, we are smarter. This dopamine is a hormone of being happy. So we get a little bit of dopamine. I'm smarter than other people. There's even this curve of confidence, which is in my personal opinion also connected with your satisfaction with getting knowledge out of that field. And it looks somehow like this. And at the beginning, when you just start learning something new concept, you get a lot of confidence, you get happy, you get satisfaction kind of, because you learn something new. You know now something new that other people don't know. Yeah, sometime after that you understand that you don't know that much, and there are a lot of specialists that know better than you, and then your curve goes down. And then after some time, if you continue learning something about that field, it goes high again. And that is the field, in my personal opinion, of difficult tasks. You learned a lot of easy tasks, you gathered experience on a lot of easy tasks, and then after some time you understand the whole system, how it works from above. You understand overall. And then your confidence goes higher, and with that goes higher your satisfaction, and with that goes higher your interest in your job, in your task, in your environment and stuff like that. And yes, we are kind of done, and I want just to say a little bit more about it, because I don't want to talk way too much about it, because I think that this concept is kind of easy to understand and is understandable. But anyway, in my personal opinion, the sentence complex or difficult tasks are interesting is wrong, because it doesn't have a lot of context. But in my opinion, the sentence difficult tasks become interesting when you already learned all the easy tasks, which the process may be boring. That sentence is true in my personal opinion and in my experience. If you learn enough knowledge about the field of the task, the field of your exercise or no, then more complicated tasks, you will understand these tasks better, and you will not need to learn way too much information at that point when you need to do the task, and that is normally a boring part for most of us. And B, you can comprehend them, and you can work on them more effectively, and you can be proud of yourself quicker. The quicker we come to this moment of satisfaction, the more it is interesting for us, because we are human beings and we like dopamine, we like to be happy, we like to feel satisfaction. And since all of us are human, you can do it. You can get to the point where this thing will become interesting for you. In my personal opinion anyway. And if you don't think that you are ready to do a lot of easy tasks, so you can come to a difficult task where it will become interesting, maybe you shall change your field of working, field of job, maybe you need to change everything, but that is your own life and decide for yourself. I just wish you the best. I think you know where is the like button. I think you also know where is the comment section. If you have any questions or topic suggestions, you can write them in the comments below. Except for that, if you want to watch more videos about social topics, about my development, about self-development overall, and about development of the channel, you can subscribe to the channel. And except for that, I see you on Thursday.